But if you just ask for Andromedans, then that's what you get, as long as we are willing to come forth in that way. And we appreciate all of you being part of this message because we get to tap into your psyches and nudge your higher selves a bit because we have that ability to do what we want. And if that pleases us, then we'll stop by. And if it doesn't, you will never know in this physicalized portion of you, and maybe not in your higher realm self as well. For if we don't wish for souls to know where we've been trespassing in some ways, then they will not. Now, there are ways of finding out, of course, but you have to have that frequency just like you do in your physicalized portion. Otherwise, it's invisible to you. Now, we really don't have to hide because we don't care, but we are always willing to do what we are willing to do. And we appreciate all of you who came back again at the mention that we were going to stop by. And the open invitation was a fine opportunity for us. And yes, we did have some muting of our energies at the behest of the Pleiadians, and that was a way of mitigating the the physicalized responses of this particular channel who we are going through, which has piqued our curiosity in some ways, and he has responded quite well to those energies, and we know what we're doing, so he is not feeling anything as of yet, which would tip him off as to our frequencies in that way. They are rather masked in what you would consider kind of like a muffled vibration of sorts. But if you have questions, we are willing to entertain answering them. So, what's on your human minds, which are, of course, an illusion, but we'll go with that, if you will.
Christiana.
Hello and welcome back to the party.
Why, thank you. Do you have your cape that says courage on it yet?
Well, it's supposed to be always on, I believe. It's just not visible.
Very well. And thank you for bringing that forth and sharing that with your cohorts in this particular group.
Oh, I just wanted to send some pairing your way.
Hmm. And we have no need for that, but we appreciate the thought.
Mm.
And we will redirect it back to you in your kindness, and your open heart will receive it.
Thank you.
And thank you for explaining to others how that process can work and giving them that example. For some may be a bit confused. They have not come across this type of energy before.
Well, they can see that I am very happily smiling, so
And that is not unusual for you as long as we continue to talk about uplifting topics, not the garbage that this channel put forth earlier in your message about ETs not consuming kitties.
yeah, that thought never crossed my mind.
You are all safe. We are part of the energies which are protecting you from harm in or from any ETs or outside energies from having those dastardly effects on you. But rest assured, there are other portions of you which have chosen to exist in realities which those battles, those challenges do take place. For there are more Earths than you have minutes in your days. And
Indeed.
all of them are not lovely places to visit, we will say, in your physicalized form.
Well, my focus is a version of Earth where also the kitties don't eat other animals. I'm sure we will reach that vibration where there are other foods for them. Because the mice are really sweet as well. I don't think, they don't need to be food.
Well, again, they don't really care what you think because they are royalty in their own minds. And we can respect that because they honor no authority but themselves. But their Lyran higher selves are counterparts in that way, their associates in non-physical or semi-physical, may have something to add to that as well. But it would be unwise to expect them to conform to human wishes. And if they choose to continue to play with their dishes, there's nothing you are going to be able to do to stop it without them reacting to you in ways which you may not prefer, because no one likes to have their clothes marked with cat scent in that way.
But if the whole planet's vibration is higher, that will affect all animals inevitably as well, no?
But they are created to do their thing. They have free will themselves. So do not expect all animals to be dancing and having parties and converting themselves to vegetarian or vegan lifestyles. The antelopes will still be tasty. The mice will still be hunted. The mosquitoes will still be feed for many creatures. It is a dream world that you are creating, which will then exist. It may not be actualized in the ways which humans can understand. But your Earth still has roles and expressions of energies which are desired and part of the harmony and balance which has yet to be restored and is still declining, but that will come to a halt and reverse at some point, which has yet to be determined because you have yet to determine it.
Thank you for sharing.
Angie.
Hello, nice to meet you. You seem like a very autonomous bunch. I was wondering, from what I understand, there is some kind of massive biosphere type of ship, I guess, near Earth, maybe called the Viera, that's supposedly an Andromedan craft. Do you know anything about that?
If we did, we wouldn't care because this particular expression is non-physicalized. So if we choose to assume a physical presence, we can choose the forms that we would prefer at that time, and they may change as our desires change. So if that is a recognition for you for that type of energy, then it may have meaning for you, but it is like, for instance, say you saw a particular animal at a particular location, and therefore you associate that location with that animal, and they may never be there again. But you can always hope.
Okay, so I guess I was thinking that maybe even if your particular group is a non-physical, that Andromedans would still be part of your soul family, star family, species family, something along those lines where there would be a connection.
We all explore our own curiosities, our own paths, and we need not pay attention to others of our species in that way, as humans may associate and form groupings. We understand that all of our experiences will be tabulated or collected at another level. And if we choose to explore what somebody else has already had a bite of, then we have that option. But why? Why visit something or experience something which is not novel when there are endless supplies of expressions which have not been tapped into? And even if they are, they would still be new because any energies which are added to it creates anew. But some are more novel than others. It's like if you read only books by the same author, then you may get tired of those types of books and then decide to look at other books or movies or whatever it might be. So for us to pay attention to other beings who have formed biospheres and or spheres and have beings which associate a particular label with them just does not appeal to us. No more than it would for you to just eat one food all of the time, every day. Unless, of course, you were starving, and then it might have some benefit and some appeal.
Okay, that makes sense. Fair enough.
Of course it does. Why would we not make sense? If we
Well,
wanted to mislead you, we wouldn't have stopped by. We're here to elucidate you, to get you to expand beyond your current mental capacities, to help you realize more of the more that's out there.
okay. Well, I appreciate that. What right now in this current moment of the now do you guys find the most novel thing that you're interested in?
Not answering questions.
So why are you here? Aren't you following your greatest excitement?
Do we not have the ability to change our minds or do what we please? And human rules and expectations are of such little interest to us because it is not novel enough. It is like you wondering how many worms are deep underneath the ground beneath my yard?
But why are you here talking to us then?
Because we choose to be here to talk to you. Why are you talking to us?
Oh, well, because it's my greatest excitement, but for you, you're doing it even though it isn't. Is that
It's
correct?
because it is our curiosity, and we have decided to come through to help foster the communication and frequency resonance of this particular being because he can do it. He is well suited to handle more and more energies and more diverse energies, whereas most on your planet are not. And that is part of his training, his chosen path. Although we were not part of that or privy to it in that way, it is not out of the realm of possibilities, obviously. And tomorrow may be a different desire for us in your linear expression. For and humans have this annoying habit of putting their expectations on everything. You see animals and you're like, oh, we interpret it as this because we saw this facial expression. And they have no idea what the animal is thinking, let alone an extraterrestrial who could hug you into spirit should we choose to. But we are not here to harm. We are here to enjoy ourselves. We are here to explore. And we are not really here.
Okay, thank you.
And you're welcome.
Lorraine, please.
Hello. I actually really like your energy, which is really, yeah, it's really fun.
We do too.
Just
Thank you.
so I'm thinking about 5D and that we are eventually going to move into that density, which could be a while, but just trying to understand it more. Is there do beings have like homes? Like what does it look like 5D?
Do you understand that 5D is not physical?
Is it purely non-physical?
It
Or the
has no physical attributes. Now, there are
okay.
beings who have the ability to express themselves and densify enough to have some visualization or to enable some encounters, like some of your spirits, who have beings which like messing with or interacting with humans by moving things, especially if they might communicate with a loved one by leaving a feather or a heart or bringing a certain bird in reference to them so that they get this idea that, oh, that was grandma. That can happen, but if you wish to go to 5D, you probably want to wait until you die. That would be the transformation that would do that. Now, other beings like the Sasani, you might say that they're 4.8D. They have the ability to experience non-physicality, and in that way, their bodies are very light in a densified form. So if you get really close, you would be almost invisible, a wisp of physicality. But that is always the choice of the consciousness or the things attached to that consciousness, whatever it decides to do.
So if somebody is, say, they have a OBE, so out of body experience, and they have reported that when they see is more real than what they see in this reality, I mean, what density are they resonating at?
The dream state.
All right, so it's not a density.
It would depend on the individual and the depth of the experience and what the higher self chose to send that expression. You have to understand you exist in all densities. But due to your chosen limited form, you are unable to even comprehend most of them. Humans have very little sensory or memory of the multitudes of beings which you are on this planet, let alone other planets or realms without planets. The non-physical portions of you are out of your mind, we will say. Now, when you dream, you can interact with all kinds of dimensions, and you do. But when you try to bring those memories or those activities or experiences back, you have to bring them through a 3D filter or a 4D filter. So you have to bring them back in ways which make sense to you. Because if you saw something and it looked like one thing and you brought it back and it looked like a puff of smoke, it's not going to bear any resemblance or any energetic signature which corresponds to what you actually experienced. Look at it this way. When you see a prism, you get to see the colors that you're meant to see. But all of the light forms are visible in a prism. Ultraviolet is there, and other energetic resonances are there, but you cannot perceive them because that is what you have chosen. There's a huge buffet of an infinite number of dishes, but you can only see the ones which you have chosen to have for your choices, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you. I'm just wondering then, how do you know what's real and what isn't, right? If you get a vision and you perceive something, like how real is that? Or is it just your mind making something up?
Use your discernment. Ask your higher self. Ask a channeled entity who might be willing to answer that question. At least you're curious to find out more about those experiences. That will serve you. That will help open up opportunities. And as long as you keep yourself from having any conflicting beliefs, there's nothing to stop you, especially if you are very interested, expressing that intent and focused on how good it feels to finally get it. That is one of the aspects of your reality which most humans are not aware of or ignore. If you imagine how great it is to remember your dreams and you're really excited about it, you will remember more of them, especially if you take actions which are supportive, especially if they are connotations which others have used and are emotionally attached to, like your dream journals. Now, they're not necessary, but because so many of your humans use them, that connotation, that energy attaches itself to that physicalized expression, so it actually helps. It's like a learning aid, the permission slip. But it works because that is the nature of the mechanics of creation in your reality. It is just another form of illusion, so it really has no vitality in that way in a physicalized form. But because you have pretended that it does, then it helps. Does that help you?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
And you're welcome. And thank you for bringing it forth and for not deterring by our somewhat brusque or abrupt manner and keeping that from asking your questions. You are to be commended for that. Because sometimes we just get a little bit on the belligerent side just to see how the humans will react because it's fun for us. No
Anita.
harm intended.
Thank you so much for this interaction. This has been a very fun time for me. And my question is, what advice do you have for this group, and for me in particular, to fulfill more of my life path, to you know move to my highest excitement? I seem to be feeling a little stuck, and
Do you know what your life path is?
no.
Then how will you know when you get it?
Can you enlighten me on that aspect?
And of course we could, but we'll just be generic. It's to grow, it's to expand, it's to be authentic and use that energy and your highest excitement. And if you don't know what it is, it's not up to us to tell you, oh, if you do this, you'll be even more excited than if you do this. You have come here to figure that out. You have
Right.
come here to explore which paths are more meaningful for you, which makes your heart beat faster, which things are interested. So you just crave more knowledge about it. Now, you have opportunities which you have been given and you have expressed interest, but acting on them has not really been your desire. Otherwise, you'd be channeling us instead.
Fair enough. Fair
All
enough.
right. And fair has nothing to do with it. It's your individual choices, and there's nothing to that anyone needs to judge. It is your free will choice.
Mhm.
And if you say, oh, I'm interested in channeling, and you get the information for channeling, and you say, I'm going to treat this like, yeah, I wanted that coupon for this particular product, but now that I have it, I'm going to change my mind and I don't feel like going shopping anyway. But you still have the coupon, unless, of course, it expires, and then you can still have the coupon, but its validity sours somewhat. But keep trying and doing what excites you. And if it's not fun, quit doing it.
Well, I
Seriously.
find this interaction here very fun.
Well, then keep doing it.
Yes,
And you
yes.
can take that upon yourself to have these interactions with others. If you humans had any idea of how many beings wish to come through just to experience a breath of humanity, just to see what the hell this density is like, you
Right.
would do more of it, but it has to be of interest to you, and you have to take the physical steps. You
Mhm.
have to have the intent. You have to add the emotion. That is the energy which propels everything in your environment. If you're meek about something and you
Mhm.
expect it to manifest, great, it might take you 40 years, but you'll get there. But if you're passionate about it, then obviously that speeds things up.
Yes. Well, thank
So
you.
now what excites you? What excites you about this particular interaction?
Just the knowledge, the wide variety of information coming through, the possibility of contact of ET contact. I'm really looking forward to and excited about that. Um, in my 3D world, I love nature and interacting with animals, and I find that very fulfilling and exciting to be out in nature. Um, so those are my
Because you're not
things that
meeting
bring
us
me
in the
joy.
physical. That's not going to happen. But you do understand that the nature spirits are real and can interact with you, correct?
Yes, I am not as knowledgeable about the nature spirits. I believe I need to learn more.
Well, if it was exciting to you, maybe you would have already learned about that. But if it is exciting, there are pathways which will open up for you.
Okay.
For instance, if you are really interested in communicating with the wee folk, the moss and the mushrooms can help you.
Okay.
You can talk to them and say, hey, I'm really interested in talking with any elementals or wee folk, which may be interested in talking with me. And if
Mhm.
your vibration is high enough and your heart is clearly involved in tapping into that natural energy, then you may get information back. And you can
Mhm.
even go back to those same mushrooms and rest assured that they may no longer be there in their fruity for realization, we will say, but they will still be there underground. The mycelia are there all of the time, unless you humans decide to hack them up. But the same with the moss. You can go back and say, hey, look, I asked you about this. Do you have any messages for me? And if you believe that you will get something from that, even if it is, yeah, we asked, they haven't gotten back to us yet, at least you will know that you have that connection and you can build upon that. Just like all of your connections with your ETs, with your higher self, even with your other humans. You have humans which you relate to, which stimulate your interest, and you have other ones that you cast off like a bad smell. Oh, get these people away from me. But it's up to you. It's your free will choice and free will choice in that way.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you
And
very
thank
much.
you. We appreciate your curiosity. And there are beings that are waiting for you. They're
Okay.
like, oh my gosh, she won't complete the call. She picks up the phone and she puts it down and says, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. And they're
Yes.
like, ah, ah, don't worry. Another one of you will do that and take up that task, and they will connect with you that way. And you'll just have to wait until after you go to the dream state or back to spirit, and you will say, oh, well, at least I know that somebody connected with me. But you can pull that in for you.
Right.
Now, this particular being, he has this wonderful idea that he is going to pull the best of every probability into his life and his timeline and let all of the other probable selves fend for themselves. And that is admirable from what we do or what we choose to express because we're going for the glory. We don't want second best. We're going to do what our highest excitement is. And if this wasn't it, we would drop him like a rock.
Well, I'm glad you haven't.
Well, we do like having somebody to come through sometimes.
Angie, please.
Okay, so
The conversation about channeling woke this one up. Okay, what do you got?
What? No, I had a follow-up question about from Lorraine's question, and that is, and I know that everything is energetic, even in the physical reality, all our bodies are energetic. So in these fifth density and higher realms that are non-physical, do they still have forms though, even if they're energetic or light body forms or something where they would, or they're more than just consciousness? Do they still have to them a kind of form?
They have energetic signatures which cannot be expressed in a physical nature or conform to any labels you may have or be able to hold in your minds. But the particular energy resonance has markings upon it. And those markings, and we're using your physical terminology just so you can get some semblance of connection to that concept. They indicate every life that that energy has been part of. And those can be explored by putting your consciousness through some of those tendrils so you can find out every other consciousness which has interacted in those particular forms that they have taken on that particular tendril, we will say. But from the higher realms, they automatically have access. And it has been explained before that archangels have that term because they have an attachment to every consciousness which they have brought forth, no matter what form. So they know literally the lives of every snail, every dust speck, every human, every Andromedan, or whatever it may be, which is still experiencing in the spacious moment of now, according to your Sethian terminology. And again, we have to use the terms which have some meaning to you because your brains are not equipped to communicate outside of your vocabulary. Your minds have to have something to hold. And when you get those visions, those carry more information than your language can ever hold because they have depths. And if you stay with those visions and you go further into them, you express curiosity about them, you can get many layers of meanings from them, which wasn't really your direct question, but we hope that it helped.
Well, yes, you always go broad, and I appreciate that. But really get back in to the initial question. I was curious. You said these higher realms, their non-physical forms can't be expressed in physicality, and yet earlier, I'm trying to understand. You had said that they can densify in order to interact. So, what isn't that an expression of their signature when they densify to be perceivable?
If they choose to do so, understand less in, again, in your terminology, 90% or so, it varies according to realm, of consciousness never experiences physicality. So this is a rare trip into the ghetto in some ways where a lot of beings would refuse to go. No offense to the ghetto.
I'm
But
right there with them.
but there are forms which you cannot hold. You have forms, you exist in forms which you can never conceive of, let alone experience or bring any relevance to in this particular human guise. It just won't work. Try to imagine all of the information that every computer holds on your planet and being able to hold all of that in your mind and integrate it and utilize it as you saw fit. Now you have a greater idea of where you exist because you might be able to hold a couple pages of the dictionary, but the rest of it escapes you because you're not equipped to hold it. You don't have the RAM, you don't have the memory, and you don't have a computer that would handle all of that. That is
Mhm.
your choice. That's why you came here. That's why you chose to forget everything. And yet, you all come back time and time again. It must be a good place of value. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't go through all the trouble of choosing every atom in your body and all of these different guideposts that you know you're going to hit at some point. If it wasn't important to you, if you didn't think you would grow from it, if it wasn't an experience you chose to have for whatever reason. And no, we're not going into those reasons. My gosh. Oh, yeah, let's discuss infinity. Where should we start?
Well, all of this just made me think of a friend of mine because I was thinking more along in terms of the beings in the higher realms, not ourselves per se in physicality. There's a friend of mine who gets visitations in her third eye all the time by this one being, but that being takes on different forms at different times. It's the same being. So that reminded me of what you said about it can express differently from time to time. Am I on the right mark or am I kind of off?
That's what you do. You express yourself as different forms all the time. assuming that time is real, which it is only in certain expressions, which are limited because they would be physical in order to do so. And limited is not a derogatory term. It is a descriptive term, which is limiting because if you have to describe it, then it doesn't apply to your greater reality.
Hmm.
I mean, try explaining meteor strikes to a tadpole and see how far that gets you. They are not equipped for that either, no more than you are for exploring or holding more of your grander self. The tadpole only just innately knows that, hey, I can't wait to eat a fly or a mosquito. I can't wait to lay some eggs or to fertilize. But that's
Why do
pretty much the extent.
why
And
do you
stay out of the sun.
why do you think our higher selves, throw things at us that we can't perceive to experience? Why does it do that? Just to get us trying to stretch our consciousness
Why do you ask questions?
to understand,
There you
find
go.
cl- find clarity. Well, I mean, if they throw stuff at us that we are not capable of perceiving,
No one's
that's
throwing anything at you.
no. Well, what I mean is like if we have experiences that all they do is confound us and confuse us
They don't
because,
confound you. You confound yourself.
well, I mean, in the sense that you just said, a tadpole isn't capable of understanding, and in ways we're not capable of understanding. So it's a capability issue, right?
It's a chosen expression. You understand, just not in this particular form. Look at it this way. You exist, and we don't care to know how old you are, but there are millions of you at various ages. And when you are 3 years old, you would not be able to understand or handle the thoughts that you are expressing now. And when you are 2 years old or 1 year old, you would have access to much more information than you do now because you would not have lost the access to the spirit realm and the higher self, and lots of other beings would be in constant communication with you. Like the other gentleman was saying, his child looks up, or not his child, but the child he is protecting and loving, looks up at the ceiling and sees things and reacts with them because he still can. He has not had that drummed out of his head that, oh, you're not seeing anything. Oh, well, you're a big person. You must know. So I'm going to close off that opportunity of experience and focus more on my 3D life. So if you cannot handle what you learned or what you were able to experience as a small child, you're still that small child. You're still your aged self. You're just at this particular self at this particular time for this particular illusion asking these particular questions. And before you take your next breath, we'll have done all of this over 1 million times. But you don't know any of them because that's not what you chose. You snip and you take, oh, I'll take a little bit of this reality, I'll take a little bit of this reality. And some of these people may appear and they may disappear, and you wouldn't know because you don't even know that you blink on and off.
It's very true. I like how you impersonate humans. It's
We don't
amuse
impersonate
it's
any.
amusing.
When you use the phone, do you come through? You're like, oh, I'm impersonating a phone. When you type, oh, I'm impersonating a texter. I'm impersonating a computer. No, you're using the reality which you have created to perform specific actions which you believe are beneficial to you. For none of you ever do anything unless you believe it helps you. Ever. But you have that choice.
Hmm.
Wow. That is an
Wow.
amazing silence that we got from you. Let that
Yes.
be a lesson to all of you that we are just experiencing a little bit of silence because this particular being doesn't seem to have that ability to keep that yap shut. And you are much like that.
Yes. Yes. Relatable. Totally relatable. Andy, Anita, do you have a question?
I do. Could you clarify for me, please? When you were
Nice.
talking about blinking on and off, like, I guess I imagine traveling between timelines. Is that what you were referring to? Could you?
No,
And no.
you create it according to your Bashar, and we have no reason not to believe what he tells you in his physicalized portion because he has agreed to be authentic in relation with all humans in this particular way. But you choose your reality a billion times a second, which means that there are choices, which means that those realities slip in and slip out, and slip in and slip out, and they are not seamless, but you cannot sense them. You are blinking on as often as you are blinking off. But you do not have that ability. Now, if you were in the seventh density, you would look and you would understand that, and you wouldn't give it a second, well, thought, we will say, in your quaint terminology, which does not exist in the ways you think it does outside of your physicality. But you have to call it something. But that is part, again, of the reality you have chosen. Think of it as a strobe light. When it's off, you don't see things. When it comes on, you see things. Now speed it up a billion times and try to tell the difference between when it's on and when it's off. And yes, you go and you play in the blinking off times. You can get a lot done when you're not here.
Do we blink on and off when we sleep?
If you choose to, understand that you do not have any physical reality constraints because your dream self is the closest you're going to get to your real self, your grander self, your higher self in your physical experience because you're dreaming now. When you dream, you're awake.
Okay.
So you don't have your true expression knows that all of this is an illusion and pays no attention to it. You only interpret it according to your ego, your mind, your 3D filters, so you can get some comprehension and possibly act upon that experience in your waking life if you choose to.
Mhm. Okay. Well, thank you.
And thank you, which is the proper response.
And thank you.
And thank you all. Because if we were talking with beings which did not understand or did not even try to understand, then we would find another way of expression with another form of you which would please us. But we are, in some ways, interested in this expansion, the ascension of humanity. For there are many different roads which lead to the same result. And if we can come in and tweak and help a little here and help a little there, and it pleases us, we'll do it. And if it doesn't, we'll move on to something else. But we are active in innumerable realities with innumerable beings because we can. And sometimes we'll splinter a portion off and it can do what it wants. And then if we like it, we'll keep it. And if not, then we'll say, okay, we're done with you. And then it will cease to exist. Not in actuality, because anything created continues to exist forever in your linear expressions, but nothing that is created ever is uncreated. But it is just no longer utilized or expressed in a multitude of forms if it is not desired to do so or to be so. That is a difficult concept for people who cannot even see what tomorrow holds, let alone what infinite futures are like.
Lorraine has a question. Go ahead, Lorraine.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I think Angie had a question, but I'm quick, Angie, and then if you want to ask, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you
yeah, that's
said,
fine.
was it?
Totally fine.
Okay, so about realities, getting into that part. So some people obviously on the planet, they're having their daily lives, normal lives, and they don't really care about, other densities or, beyond what we perceive, right? And there's some people, probably like everybody here, like I feel like I have one foot in on Earth and one foot in a like another reality type thing, and I'm balancing between the two. Like it's sometimes I would like channel a being or whatever, but it's like, but I'm always interested and curious about understanding, the nature of reality, how it exists, and so forth. And I just wonder why is some people like that and then other people are quite happy to have their normal day-to-day life. Like for me, I find if I'm just only in 3D, I would just be bored. Like I have to have to be outside and exploring and understanding and wondering why. Like I'm just wondering, why is there difference between two versions, if you want to say, of realities?
It could be any number of reasons. You have free will choice. Some souls have experienced a multitude of realities and they just want what has been termed a resting life, where they go through being born and an end point of transitioning with very few challenges, a very boring life. But that allows them to recoup energies and to provide some method or type of experience which is still valuable without utilizing a lot of energy. And that is a wide term which has many connotations outside of your realm to maintain a life. For only the strongest souls are going to come in and be abused and live a short life, such as your war victims. No being, unless they choose to, comes to starve to death or to be hacked to pieces. Those are strong individuals who want a very severe experience because they haven't had it yet and they think it will serve them. Now, for you in particular, we urge you to not have feet in your concept of self, to view yourself merely as a spirit being. And you are looking at yourself and your experience through your eyes, which you have pretended to be physical. Because the less you orient with your 3D reality, the more energy and the greater opportunities you will have given to you. For there are many beings who like those opportunities of those who are less dense. Not a lot of beings are going to come into people who don't believe in spirits, who don't believe in the experiences that are given to them, who don't understand that, oh, deja vu, oh, well, that is just something freaky I'm not going to think about. And they'll deny that it even happened. But there are many who just dig their hands in the soil and that's good enough for them. And they don't ever connect with any of the consciousness in it in a reflective way. And that is their choice. Just like you don't go and buy everything in the big grocery store. You pick out what you need. That's what your soul does. But if you are looking at it from a grander spiritual perspective, it gives you a better perspective. It gives you that grander perspective. Like the view you can get from the third floor may not be as good as the one you get from the penthouse. Does that analogy serve you?
It does, yeah. I presume my soul just likes to be entertained, that kind of way. But thank you.
Well, and we hope that you like to be entertained as well, which would entertain your soul and entertain all of those around you, because that entertainment, that excitement carries a frequency which resonates out and bumps into others and lifts them up and provides them with an example that they can follow or not. That is their choice. You see someone skipping on the sidewalk, you're like, well, that looks like fun. I think I'll do that. And other people would just say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how childish they are. Now, one of those may be more appealing to you, but that is, again, your choice. And there are beliefs associated with a lot of the choices that you make that are not mandated in some ways by your soul, because there are events which are going to happen, which you have chosen, but they are not things that are thrust upon you without your permission, like those individuals who say, "Oh, I was abducted." No, you weren't. You volunteered. You can label it any way you want, but if you didn't choose to have that experience, then you would not.
It's all about perception in a way, right?
In a way, right.
Yes. Right. Thank you.
You're the makers of meaning.
You are the makers of meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Because you assign what values to everything you have in your experience. And your choice of preferred or not preferred, excitement or boring, those are tools, those are compasses to help you make those decisions and choose those paths which lead to your greater fulfillment. There are plenty of people who just love sitting on park benches, and that is their life. They are welcome to them. They may as well come back as a park bench if they wish to have that experience. But none of you are like that. You need more. You desire more. And sometimes you're not sure how to go about it. But on other levels, you are sure how to go about it. So ask about it. Ask your higher self. And one of the benefits of channeling is you can ask questions of the channeled entities. And more than likely, if they care to come through, they will communicate to you. Now, this particular person, he has other entities which will fulfill that role for him. And if he asks us a question, we're more than likely just going to ignore him and say, yeah, you have other people for that.
There are for sure
And not that they're people.
entities. So, Angie, you have the last question here tonight.
Oh, yay. Okay. Well, I was just curious, along the same vein as what you just suggested, in the same way that you shared with Christiana about her feline connections and such, is there any connections of mine that you can sense and share with me that might be beneficial to me at this time?
Yes. But you wouldn't like it.
But it would be beneficial to me
Yes.
to speak about these connections to whatever race or species.
And it would satisfy your curiosity in a very minuscule way. But why would we make it easy for you and ruin the surprise when that is why you have chosen this expression? You don't want easy answers. You just think you want easy answers.
Well, I'm
And
just
you've
curious
had
about it.
your fill of easy answers, and you've run out of easy answers. So now you are forced, you've backed yourself into the wall of saying, damn, I actually have to do the work. I have to go outside my comfort zone. I have to go and do my inner work because no one will give me the easy answers anymore.
Ray told me to tell you guys to go gently on me when answering questions. I'm just wondering about a connection to a species like Christiana had with the felines. That's all. I'm not asking for any in-depth answers to soul questions. It was just a lighthearted,
Well,
simple question.
and a couple of things. We don't take direction from this particular ray being. And the second thing is you have some sun energies which you are connected with. And all such sun stars, as you know them, are related in ways. Now, we've given you the information or information which you asked, but you will find it does not satisfy you because it only leads to more questions. You want to know what stars? Can you tell me more? And you wish to find out by going within and not without. And until you understand and explore and expect to get the answers from within instantly after you ask the question, then you will know, oh, okay, now I understand. So there you go, sun connection. Shine brightly, but shine on your interior.
Well, I do interior work all the time. I don't know why I keep getting this message because I am constantly in the interior. The exterior actually doesn't interest me at all. So
Well,
I'm not sure I'm understanding.
maybe if you were interested, you would look at these transcripts again and figure out why you're not interested, but you're still interested enough to ask the questions.
Well, I'm not interested in the exterior world. I'm absolutely interested in the interior world, and that's where I spend a lot of my time. I do
Okay.
inner work daily.
Next question, please.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, we were not easy enough. Next question, please. You have all of this figured out. You just don't know you had it figured out. And when you know you have it figured out, then you will be teaching all of these other beings. And if we've dried up this pond of curiosity, then we will make our way back to our non-way and find something else to amuse, to inject our energy into, and understand you are always more than you think you are. And not just in a concept way, in the etheric realm. It is well beyond that. And there is nothing that any of you can do if you have not set up a physical limitation to do so, that any of the other ones of you can do. It is what you choose to put your mind to. But if you're not willing to do the work or you're not willing to explore it because it's challenging, then find out why it's challenging. Find out why you believe that you are stopping yourself. I'm in the car and I want to go to the store, but I don't want to turn the ignition on. Why isn't this working? Oh, maybe you should have some introspection into why you're afraid to turn the ignition. And then you will get the answers. That is not a very good example, but it will serve. And thank you all for serving. You served up some good questions. You served up your energy. You opened your minds and you showed up. You are growing. You are to be commended, and you should commend yourselves for even exploring the opportunities which are presented to you and for desiring to be more than what you are now. And it's not like you can help but to be that, but to consciously acknowledge it and pursue that in a more direct, active fashion is highly advantageous to many dimensions. And we'll meet you there.
Thank you. We meet in all dimensions.
Well, they took it easy on me, unless I'm just used to their energy. Are they loud?
At
They're,
times,
they're like screaming in my head,
yeah,
especially when they're yelling at me.
they yell a little, yeah.
They're animated, but I don't get any visuals with them. I almost always do with the other ones, but I get nothing.
Mm.
And
So it's
Lorraine, thank you for speaking up.
No,
And
I think they were fun. They're quite they're interesting. They're kind of like a tough nut, which I kind of like. You know?
That's one way to put it, tough love.
Exactly.
well, everybody has had some teacher somewhere, probably at the university level or something like that, where they were very hard, but you
and,
learn a lot from them.
Mhm.
and if Angie takes the advice meant for you, Lorraine, and orients herself from her higher self, then she would find out more of those answers. But the beliefs that you have things which you have trouble learning or which you haven't learned create the reality that you haven't learned or you have trouble learning. Same as they do for everybody else.
Yeah, there's no beginners here
You
in
say,
any
oh, this
sense
is hard.
whatsoever. Yeah.
It's hard.
Why do you think they came down on that so, aggressively when I just asked about a connection? Like they told Christiana tons of stuff without any problems. They didn't give her grief. Why do you think they went that route? I mean, I was just asking about a connection.
Because you didn't want to know the answer.
Of course, I wanted to know the answer, and I loved the answer.
No,
I
you
totally
tell
resonated with
yourself you
it.
want to know the answer, but you have come here to figure that out. You don't come here to be told that, and they're not going to do your soul work for you. And even if they did, you wouldn't believe it. You have to figure it out for yourself.
Why didn't they tell Christiana that? I just wanted to know about a
My
connection.
connection is known for a long time through many sessions. It
Hmm.
is being discussed constantly. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So,
it started a little bit hard too, Christiana. A little bit.
Well, and each individual is different, and they're not going to interfere with the soul path.
well, I mean, he had just literally, that's why I jumped on the tailcoat of it. He just literally said, if people are curious, they should ask the channel entities about the stuff. So I was like, okay, cool, let's go. And
But
then,
but they answered you, but
whiplash.
you didn't like the answer, right?
No, I did love the answer about the sun. That's the only thing I wanted to know about.
Oh,
And,
well,
and I totally resonate with that. I thought that was super cool.
yeah.
Would have been, yeah. So I
I
mean,
think I think they might have been Angie wanting you to probably go within as well. Probably they're forcing you to go within and discover. Maybe that's a part of it too, right? So kind of a tough love, saying, "Hey,
well, I
you
mean,
kind of
yeah,
know who you're connected to.
but that could go
Investigate."
that applies to everybody, but you wouldn't tell everybody that asks you a question in a channeling service or a session where you have them at our disposal. You wouldn't tell every person that asks you a question, why don't you go within and find out?
Well, but
You know, I mean, just answer it.
yeah, if you wanted to learn how to bake a cake, every time you wanted a cake and you go to the store and buy it, you can say, I want to learn how to bake a cake, but every time you go buy it, and then, you know, you're just performing lip service saying that you want to learn how to make the cake when you really just want the cake.
So how do I discern when it's safe to ask a question without getting
It's always
that
safe to
answer?
ask.
Well,
It's
no, it's
always safe
not.
to ask.
Every time I ask a question, it feels like it gets spun around into that storyline when I'm not even trying to go there.
No, I mean,
So,
and it's not that you're not nice, and it's not that you're not worthy of getting the answer. It's just that nobody's going to hand it to you. They all want you to go in. And you say, well, I've done that. And like, and then you stop.
okay. All right. Well,
I've looked at the recipe, but I still can't bake the cake. Well, no wonder you haven't bought the ingredients, you haven't mixed them. You just looked at the recipe and you say, well, I've put effort into it. And that's just another example. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to go easy on you.
yeah, I tried your little technique. It didn't work.
Yeah, well, they're the tough nut. Yeah,
Yeah, they're the tough nut.
they're not taken to the guidelines that others try to impose upon them.
They're like, oh, no, you didn't.
But once you get it,
Okay, I just have to I
then
have to be
many
very
other
discerning with my
doors will
questions.
unfold for you. Let's do a little example. Have you gone through and done the steps necessary to channel that I gave you?
Uh, no, but I've certainly done plethora of other, just because
Uh-huh.
yours is one that I didn't resonate with. I have taken courses of the yin yang. I mean, so I've done lots of work. This methodology just didn't resonate with me. But I mean, I have done tons of others that did, and I always went into it with much hope and optimism, and So I have absolutely through the years done so much work. So when I'm told that I haven't, that's, what can I say to that? I mean, I have, but
Anita, would you like to handle this one?
Well, let me ask you this, Angie. Are you channeling?
no,
Okay.
I'm trying,
Oh,
but
well, but
that's what I'm saying.
one of the things maybe Ray is saying is that if you talk about doing a lot of things that haven't worked, but haven't tried the one thing that might work,
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
that one just
Maybe
does
you should try.
but that's the thing. That one totally doesn't resonate with me. I mean,
Maybe
Well,
not, but it's if
why
A,
doesn't it
B, C,
resonate?
D, and E doesn't
well,
work, maybe try the next one.
I've tried ones that are very similar to his already, and they didn't work. So it's almost like more of the same. You know what I
I
mean?
know, but what do you have to lose if you
Well,
just try it?
I I have a lot to lose, honestly. So,
Like what? I'm curious now. What do you have to
I'm afraid.
lose?
Okay, I'm being vulnerable here. Is this
Hang on a
recording?
second. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I thought Bashar's, and I don't watch a lot of Bashar. One of the things that I got from that was if it doesn't speak to you and call you right away, why would you spend a lot of time trying to make it work for you? So I'm confused by this conversation at the moment.
Wait, which part of it?
Well, I mean, because I hear you saying it didn't work for me. And so I would be like, okay, move on. But I hear Anita saying, well, maybe you're not really trying. See, I don't, yeah. If it doesn't work, then move on. So
Yeah.
don't try.
But that was kind of what I was saying too, is move on to something different that might work. And the one thing she hasn't tried is what Ray had sent her.
I thought you said you did try it and it didn't
Well,
do
I
anything.
tried methodologies that are the same concept.
Okay.
And
Similar.
those, yeah, I mean, they were the same kind of things.
Well, there's
And
something there's something else besides methodologies, basically. And who's in charge of all of that is your higher self. So if your higher self feels this is not the moment for that, you're not going to get it.
well, that's what I kept saying was it must be a timing thing.
Or
God knows I've
if
tried.
your higher self wants for you to establish contact with some other kind of energy, it's it's almost like you are meant to do it differently. Okay. Now you have to explore that with your higher self.
How do you explore it with your higher self
Well, you can
when they don't?
you can channel your infinite one. You can do that.
Use your imagination.
Yeah. You absolutely can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
when you imagination, when you do enough imagination, it becomes a reality or becomes channeling, right? So if you imagine something and the more you're like, oh, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, then it can actually transfer into actually reality. That's what I got before.
The
I know it's hard
methodology,
sometimes.
the methodology I use has been visualization. Because I have a clear, although this may work for me, but I have a vivid imagination to where I can visualize, and the entities that I connect with, I'm able to visualize them, and then use that as a connecting point to connect with through that.
Have you talked to Chuck about it?
No, he hasn't gotten back to me. It's been a busy, it's the holidays. It's busy, so.
So there's two paths that you were given, which you haven't followed up on.
Well, I totally said I would be open to talking to them. I just told them, hey, it's the holidays. Get back to me when you have time. I'm not going to bug them to, they're doing out of the niceness of their hearts. So, when I hear from them, I hear from them, and I will be totally open to talking about it because, I would love it.
Angie,
But I think it is a timing thing. I mean, what else could be the reason at this point?
I have a suggestion of, you were questioning how to connect with your higher self or talk to your higher self or get answers.
Mhm.
Yeah, something that I've tried that seems to help me is, have you tried automatic writing?
Oh God. Yes,
Okay.
I've tried that.
And does it help?
No, no, but it's just it's I have a scenario that is, I guess, unique to me, and that is that I'm an author. I write fiction. So I am just wired to come up with dialogue on the fly. So I can't tell the difference.
Oh,
You
so
know what
you
I mean?
can't
So
tell
I
the
mean,
difference if it's
so
you
I can
or if it's
literally,
the
yeah, I can
higher
literally,
self.
right, because I can do any nuance of any character under the sun. So I know Bashar's like, well, the ego is going to talk about this, and other teachers have been like, the egos are going to say this, and the higher self is going to be really positive, and blah blah blah. But my brain can make up any any character, any personality, any nuance. So that to me, it's unfortunate because I'm a writer. I love to write. So that would be so ideal if I could tell the difference. But I mean, I can't. I can't tell the difference at
Well,
all.
Well,
I
you're
go
already
ahead, Liz.
channeling,
Yeah, I was going to
Angie.
say you
You
probably are.
already are channeling, and
Mhm.
so here, think about writing the story. The next story that you're going to write is a story in which you're going to ask every conceivable question that you want to answer in your life. You're going to write that story, okay, and you're going to be amazed by the characters that are going to answer for you.
Mhm. Actually, you look
You're
at
not
it
buying it.
as a flaw, as a negative being a writer, but actually you're way ahead of the game because I believe all writers actually channel
I
the
mean,
writing.
I do. I agree on some level. The stories that I pump out and the way that they come together at
Right.
the end and stuff, I'm just
Mhm.
like, oh my God, I could
Every
never have
one of
come
those
to.
Exactly.
But
characters.
but that isn't a dialogue with me on really personal issues and stuff like that that I need guidance on. That's different. I mean,
It
it's
could
It is
be.
different. It's not, you're not selling it, first of all. So
right,
it is different.
exactly. It's
But
so
let it be
different.
different. Just let it be different. It doesn't have to be the same. I think maybe you're looking for some sort of outcome. Just let the outcome go and let whatever happens happens. And don't plan like you're writing for for what, don't even plan. Just write and plan on throwing it away when you're done with it. Don't plan on anyone ever seeing it. Every time you write, just throw it away. Just see what happens. Don't dismiss it because that is your thing. Writing is your thing. So you can't dismiss it because it's your thing.
It's your channel.
But it's
But
like when I try to connect to higher self, it's because I am looking for answers to things that I'm struggling with, and I don't get answers. It's crickets, you know.
Um, do you write down your question first
I did
and
when I used to
then
try, yeah.
meditate on your question and have the intention, I want an answer to this question, and
Yes,
then
yes.
write.
Hmm.
And I think maybe your hang up is that you don't believe what you write after that. You think it's just coming from your own ego instead of
Well,
actually coming from your higher self.
if it's like when I was doing the automatic practices, I did it for several months. I could ask just simple generic questions and I could go on and on and on. I could write forever and who knows if it was me or not. And I didn't care. But when it came to things that I was really struggling with, it wasn't even a matter of is it me or not? It was crickets. There was nothing. Nothing was coming. And those are the things you need the guidance for. You know what I mean?
Mhm. So
So
nothing came through to
no,
you.
no, just
what if you did it for someone else? What if someone asked you a question for them and
Mhm.
you wrote the answer out? Could you do that? Could you try that?
I've never tried
Like,
that. I
dear,
mean,
dear Angie, my
Mhm.
boyfriend left me. What should I do? And you could write back. I mean, try that kind of dialogue. Get into the character or the state of Angie, the whatever, you're answering their questions instead of answering your own questions. And maybe some of those questions will be your questions.
Mm.
Just try the character, try the dear Angie character, and start writing to Dear Angie and have that person ask a question. It'll be fun. What can happen? If not, you have some really great letters, and you might start a new column. You can get some work. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Okay, that's an interesting notion. If my brain will let me remember to try that tomorrow.
Just leave your brain out of it.
Well, it's my memory. It's a memory thing.
Okay.
But anyway, thank you guys for the pointers. I appreciate it. I didn't mean to make this a
Don't give up on
thing
yourself.
about Ange. I was just curious.
But don't
And
give up on yourself.
Oh, I'm not giving up. I am and trying not to have an attachment to it anymore. You know what I mean? Which is, it's like if this is God's will, it'll happen. It'll happen when He wants it to happen, when God wants it to happen, it's going to happen. I can't stop that, even with all of my blocks or whatever it's going on. When it's divine will, it'll happen.
Right.
At this
Let go of
point.
those blocks.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's been a long time of trying.
Just let them go. Stop trying.
That's right. Exactly. But now I have to
You don't have to do nothing.
police my questions of what I ask the channelers.
No, you don't have to do that either.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't have to do it. You have to
Why'd you bring the police into it?
Yeah.
You know the police always muck it up.
Yeah, I know.
Come on. No police. No police.
Just ask your questions and don't care about what comes back, Just let it be. Okay?
Dear Angie.
Yeah.
What should I do about this? Oh, dear Angie, someone just hit my car outside. I know who it is, and I saw the residue. So I'm one skinny broad. What should I do?
Did someone really hit your car?
Yes.
Oh
Write
my
it.
God.
I don't want to know.
Oh no.
I'm fine. It's good. But write it. Don't say, there you go. There's your story.
Okay, thank you for that prompt.